Hello fellow writers, is Emerson Wright here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be redoing my AuthorTube Newbie Tag video because honestly the first one, whoo, that shit is tragic. I will be taking it down, so once this is up you guys will not be able to see it. But not only did I look like a shiny tin man, but video quality, the audio quality, everything like that was just bad. So I'm gonna redo it and see where I go from there. So let's get right in. First question, how did I find out about AuthorTube? I watch YouTube as my main source of entertainment. And since I like books, I started out watching BookTube. When I started to look at writing as something I would like to do and take seriously, because I had been writing for many years, some fan fiction, some short stories, some poetry, tried a couple novels, that type of thing, I looked to AuthorTube to learn. And I came across my two favorite AuthorTube channels, and that is Jen Moreci and Alexa Dunn. And they really inspired me to come on here and do a AuthorTube channel. So that's what I am doing here. Question number 2 is, what genres do I write in? I write fantasy and retro-futuristic sci-fi. My roots are in contemporary, and I've considered like maybe starting contemporary work in progress. I don't know yet. Haven't thought it through already. I've just been reading some good contemporary novels recently, and it's just made me want to do it, but that's on the back burner right now, so it's mainly fantasy and retro-futuristic sci-fi. Number 3 is, what is my preferred writing tense, point of view, and age category? I prefer past tense, third person, and either YA or adult. My current work in progress is in adult fantasy novel, but I also have like a YA retro-futuristic sci-fi that's kind of on the back burner right now, and YA is kind of where my roots are. So definitely YA, dabbling in adult when it comes to age category. And then past tense, since I tried present tense, did not work out. It was a travesty. I don't talk about that time. Third person, definitely, especially if I'm writing fantasy. If I am writing contemporary, I do lean towards first person, but if it's fantasy or retro-futuristic sci-fi, it is definitely third person. Fourth question is, are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? And this answer has actually changed since the first time I did this video in January. I have become more of a plotter. I used to be completely a plantser in the middle, in which I would only plan my main story points and then pants everything else. But I have gotten into the plotting groove. The only thing that I don't plot out is my character kind of like romances and things, like their dynamics and such. Like I have a couple scenes plot out because it is a part of the story, but how it goes and their exact chemistry I don't plot out. But like when it comes to the plot of the novel, I have every single scene plotted out. So yeah, that's definitely changed, and honestly I think it's for the better. So there's that. Fifth question is, are you traditionally published, self-published, or yet to be published? I'm yet to be published. I am working on my first, well, in between my two first major novels. One had to be put on the back burner because it had to do with the plague, and if you know anything about what has been going on in the world with Corona, I had to put her on the back burner. It just wasn't happening. So I am working on something new. But yeah, I'm yet to be published. I am working on that and just hoping to get there sometime soon. All right, I had to bring the laptop in because this one's a long one. What publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented by or use if yet to be published? What is your dream publishing house or literary agent? I do not have one. I do kind of don't believe in the like dream agent, dream house. I mean, obviously, who doesn't? Well, I know there are some people who don't, but I know a lot of us, you know, strive for the big five and whatnot. But I do not have my hopes that high, and I don't have a dream publisher or a dream agent because I want to be represented by whatever agent and eventually published by whatever publisher is a best fit for the novel I'm writing at the time and best for my career when that part happens. Seventh question is, what type of AuthorTube related videos can you find on my channel? I am going to be doing vlogs, especially with Camp Nano coming up in July. I'm going to be vlogging my process for that and kind of my journey. And I just want to take everyone along on my writing journey, but also I want to post videos kind of breaking down tropes, looking into story structure, looking into things that make a novel, because obviously since I am not published, I had to think long and hard about what I could bring to the table, and I realized I can talk about what goes into books and break them down and be a resource for other writers in a way to give information on story structure and genres and tropes and how you can use them and subvert them and things like that. So those are the type of videos. I do have some videos up on my channel, like a how to outline video, a story structure video. So those are the type of videos you can find. This is a fun one. It is, when did you start writing? I would have to say my earliest memories are about 8 or 9. I started out writing poetry in the beginning. I didn't start writing like stories until I was in high school. I was in high school. I want to believe maybe middle school. But even then, before I was writing stories, I was coming up with stories. I was coming up with characters. I enjoyed that process. Plus, being a history person, I loved fantasy and coming up with fantasy ideas. And so there was that. But I started out writing poetry, and I did that for a long time. I wrote song lyrics. I wanted to be a singer when I was younger. No, not doing that anymore, as you can see. But yeah, and then I started writing fan fiction with my friends and really realized I loved writing. So I started writing my own stuff, mostly short stories, or I started working on a couple novels. Didn't really get really far with them, though I might come back to some of the ideas and maybe weave it into something. Because my main problem then is I would come up with an idea but didn't really know how to come up with a plot or create conflict, which now is something I know how to do, and it's great. And then, yeah, that's kind of when I started writing seriously. And then about, I would say, a year ago, I really started wanting writing. I had tried before. I had a tragic accident where I lost my story, things like that. And now I'm at the point where I'm writing almost every single day, and it is such a magical thing. 9 is the first story you ever wrote. Now, taking fan fiction out of it, I'm trying to think. Because there was a story that originally wasn't fan fiction that would technically be my first story, because I converted it to not fan fiction, even though it was still fan fiction. But taking that out of the question, it was a fantasy novel in which people lived in an underground area, and they were controlled by this overseer named Monsignor. And this person looked over their entire life, controlled them. They had like bells and things of times. They had to be up at a certain time. They had to go to work at a certain time, whatever. And they were trapped in this underground city. And yeah, it's an idea that I have some ideas for it, and I might come back to it, so I won't give too many details, but it was very interesting and fun. And I got decently far at the time, even though the writing is horrendous and I just don't even like to think about it. And then if we do consider the fan fiction that I had turned into a novel, it was about a group of kids who went to an art school, and that was all I knew. It had almost zero plot to it, none whatsoever, meaning, and yeah, it was really bad. It was just so bad. Oh my goodness, bad. The 10th question is, what authors inspire you the most? Now, as I mentioned in my books that have influenced my writing video, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I really am. I have a Harry Potter tattoo right here. But I'm hesitant to say J.K. Rowling because I'm extremely kind of disappointed in her right now and have many issues with her now, but it is what started my love for fantasy and me to write fantasy. So I'm gonna have to say J.K. Rowling, but also when it comes to contemporary, John Green. He was all the rage when I started writing contemporary in high school. And honestly, I'm like, oh, that was just such a good time for like YA contemporary romance. 11th question, that is, do you schedule your writing sessions or do you write when you have time? I try to write every single day, and so I kind of just find time in which I write every day, but I do sometimes have to schedule my writing sessions or else writing will not get done. Most of the time it's just writing when I have the time during the day. Right, next question is, do you use a computer, typewriter, write by hand to do your writing in? I'm a computer all the way. I had a tragic accident when I was a handwriter where I left my notebook in my backpack and my backpack got stolen and I lost all of my work. And it was heartbreaking and tragic, and after that I have been a Google Drive gal ever since. And yeah, so definitely a computer. And then the second part of that question is, where do I write? I either write at the kitchen table or in my room. I do love writing at cafes or libraries because I'm able to focus a lot more when I am out in public than I am like in my room or in my bed. So definitely that's my main preference, but most of the time I write at the kitchen table or in my bedroom. And the last question is, what do you look forward the most now that you are part of AuthorTube? And honestly, it's the community. I've already experienced it. I've met some lovely people on here and spoken to some lovely people, and I plan on, doing more and meeting more people, and it's so exciting and nice to meet like-minded people who have the same goals as you. So definitely the most exciting part. And that is it. Thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. If you liked it, please give it a like and comment down below. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video.